Chris Tyson from MrBeast came out as trans, and people don't like it. And people actually started to blame it on Carl, and called it the Carl effect. And because Chris came out as trans, people started to attack him on Twitter, and TikToks about this whole thing have been going viral. And that was just one of the TikToks that went viral. There's multiple other ones exactly like that. But this all started when Chris Tyson showed up in a MrBeast video, and in that video people pointed out that he didn't look the same at all. And then everyone just started to point it out in the comments section, and then over on Chris's Twitter, Chris decided to post this, which got him a lot of backlash. "I now have lethal weapons at all times. I am ready for any attacks." And in the picture under the tweet, it showed that Chris had painted his nails, but also that he got his nails longer. And Chris also made this post as well. "Okay, in 4 different customs, I had to prove it was myself because I, quote, look nothing like my passport. So much that I am considering updating my passport. Do you see any resemblance?" And then in the picture below, they showed 2 different pictures of themselves before and after, and they look quite different. And because of this, people started to say mean stuff about Chris on Twitter. "You went from man to boy." Then Chris actually replied to this saying this: "Nah, to be honest, I really just started to take my mental health seriously and eating better," which is really good that Chris is doing that. And as I mentioned earlier, Chris went on a MrBeast video, and everyone started to say in the comment section that Chris went from lighting campfires to raising a family with a beautiful wife to now trying to be a wife with his man bun and long nails. Chris has been adopting more and more traits that remind me of my grandmother, and a lot more rude comments like this. And because of all this, people would go onto TikTok saying that they miss the old Chris and making comparison videos. And people started to blame Carl for Chris changing, called the Carl effect. And that's just because Carl paints his nails and does a few things that people don't like. And people are saying just because Chris paints his nails that it was all Carl's fault. I'll just show you one of the videos that someone made,
where I said that I was spamming CX in chat.
It's just weird that someone went out of their day to just make this TikTok, when it's completely obvious that Carl did not influence this within the slightest. And after this, people started to harass Chris, and sending him messages that are basically death threats. So Chris said this on his private account: "I am going to be taking a break from social media for a little bit. I can take all the jokes and hate comments and stuff, no problem. But when people are sending me messages telling me I'm the reason my kid is going to one day is way too much for me. I'm gonna focus on the things that make me happy, filming videos, being a dad to Tucker, and taking care of my family." Now clearly this is not okay. Like, clearly people should not be saying this stuff. Because someone chooses to express themselves in a different way doesn't mean that you can say this. I thought that was pretty clear, but apparently it's not. But anyway, Keemstar would talk about how Chris was taking a break. MrBeast Chris is taking a break after getting hate for dressing like a girl and painting his nails. And under that post, people are saying Chris changed, Chris is being soft. But when Chris actually came back to Twitter, Chris actually talked about the Carl effect. The Carl effect, while it lasted, was funny to me because even though Carl is a great friend, y'all think he's my type. I'm into way taller than me, ripped, and quiet. Every time I had someone talk about me and Carl dating, I was like, oh, they don't have any clue, LMAO. And there was rumors going around that Chris divorced his wife, and he actually responded to this whole thing. For a little over a year now, me and Kate have been separated. We are finalizing things soon, but these things take time. We like to keep our personal lives private, which a lot of people don't understand, because we share too much. But this is the only time I want to discuss it. Confirmed consent, HRT, saved my and many others' lives. The hurdle and GNC people have to jump through to get life-saving, gender-affirming healthcare in first world countries is wild to me. Just let people make informed discussions about their own bodies. Now, this is basically Chris just coming out, and nobody really knows what Chris really identifies as, really. And there's a lot of people saying that Chris doesn't even care. But then yet another tweet went viral of someone making fun of Chris. Chris from MrBeast crew receives backlash again for his feminine appearance. At Drama Alert. This is the second time this year he's received hate. Both time fans blamed Carl Jacobs for his femination. Bro, WTF? WTF happened? And then Chris actually decides to reply to this guy, HRT, and it's only been 2 months. The goofy mother effers keep running your own stuff. Thanks Carl for being an inspiration to me and so many other people to be happy and comfortable being themselves. And there are people that are actually saying that they're worried about Chris's kid. There goes a father figure for the kid, won't ever be able to look up to. Hard times to create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men. And the weak men create hard times. And there are even people that are saying that Chris is selfish for doing what he's doing. And Chris actually replied to it saying this, which is a pretty fair and actually cool reply. And then people made fake screenshots of MrBeast not supporting Chris. The hashtag MrBeast leaks to me exposes exactly what kind of person MrBeast is. A who can't stand up for what he believes in out of his fear of lost profits. I know the money goes to very charitable causes, but if he can't do what's right, he shouldn't be a public figure. But before I get into that, I should explain why people tried to make it seem like MrBeast is the bad guy here. Because MrBeast started this live stream on his MrBeast 2 channel where he unboxed things that his fans sent him. And in that entire live stream, MrBeast was acting weird. And people on Twitter would acknowledge this saying this: MrBeast looks so uncomfortable. And there was TikTok videos that went viral of people saying the same thing.
We used to be best buddies, and now we're not.
Most likely isn't even about that. It's probably because MrBeast had a long day. And then people were starting to say that MrBeast didn't really support Chris, with a lot of tweets that I'm not gonna read because there's way too many to go through. And then people started to show these fake tweets going around, text from a MrBeast employee, big if true. And then the alleged employee says this, which is very incriminating, but... And then they show screenshots with MrBeast texting this employee. Hey, please listen to me very carefully. We have to support Chris like it is critical to the business. Creators have been cancelled for less. I mean, I'll do my best. To be honest, it's kind of weird when he comes in wearing a dress and acts like a completely different person. I know there's an adjustment period, but we need to be completely supportive, even if it's kind of awkward. We need to keep up our views, our conversations. This is a business. You're not alone in your feelings. I'm working it out with her, but just keep the status quo for now. Now, clearly, these are fake. This is not how people usually type. And if this is how MrBeast felt, this is not how he would probably admit it. He would not admit it over text that can easily be screenshotted. Like, that just makes completely no sense. But now we're gonna be talking about the Sunny V2 situation that happened with Chris and Sunny V2, and MrBeast also replied to Sunny V2. It all started when Sunny V2 made this video called "Why Chris Will Soon Be a Nightmare for MrBeast." And in this video, he gives a very controversial take at the end of the video.
Jimmy has no option but to publicly express acceptance of Chris's transition, as silence or even worse, disapproval would come with obvious severe repercussions. However, in accepting Chris's transition, Jimmy implies that this will be the new normal within the content, thus annoying a different group of people, many of whom will never express their true feelings and may rather simply click on fewer MrBeast videos. If this is the case, Jimmy has no option but to accept this fate, as removing Chris from the videos in any kind of way could create an even more severe media firestorm. The only clean solution, should things go south, might be for Chris to resign himself, and even then rumors and bad press will be unavoidable. Whether it be arrogance or ignorance, Chris seems oblivious to how this whole thing might impact Jimmy, forgetting that he achieved his current level of success by avoiding this exact type of drama.
And then that's when MrBeast replied to Sunny V2 on Twitter. Yeah, this is getting absurd. Chris isn't my nightmare, he's my effing friend. And things are fine. All this transphobia is starting to piss me off. So clearly, MrBeast did not like what Sunny V2 said in his video. And that's basically everything that happened with the Chris Tyson situation. So if you guys like this video, like and subscribe, and go watch his next video if you guys like this one. And I'll see you guys next time.